What is up, guys? It's Bunty here, and I just got finished watching House of the Dragon Season 2, and I don't know if I should be mad, upset, hopeful. Before I even start talking about Season 2, we have to talk about Game of Thrones. Back when I'd say there was around 2 to 3 episodes left in Season 7, I finally decided to give Game of Thrones a chance. And I'm not gonna lie, for a stretch, it was one of, if not the greatest TV show I've ever watched in my entire life. And honestly, the crack started around, I'd say, it was either season 6. I think the crack started in season 6, season 7 was kind of mid, and then season 8 was, y'all know how season 8 was. So after that, I was done with Game of Thrones. Like, everything Game of Thrones related, I was done. I remember hearing about House of the Dragons. I didn't care about it. I didn't watch season 1 when it was airing. I just left it to the wind. So, right before season 2 aired, I'd say like a week before season 2 aired, you know when you run out of shows? I ran out of shows. So I ran out of shows to watch, and I was like, I probably won't like this, but let me give House of the Dragon a chance, right? And honestly, this might be a hot take, but I'd say House of the Dragon Season 1 is better than Game of Thrones Season 1. Like, that's how much I love House of the Dragon Season 1. And I couldn't wait for Season 2 because it felt like House of the Dragon Season 1 was Game of Thrones, but with faster pacing and better pacing. That's kind of how it felt like. So I was really stoked for Season 2. And honestly, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in Season 2 because it literally felt like setup. The whole season felt like setup for Season 3. And I don't know what is going on in Hollywood, but I feel like in the past couple years, there are so many shows or movies or animes like that just feel like setup for the next thing. Like for an anime, there's a season that feels like a setup for the next season. There's certain movies now that feel like a setup for the next movie. For example, the second Miles Morales. Mind you, I love that movie. I completely love that movie. But it was a setup for the next movie, like, if we're being honest. And then Dune Part 1 and Part 2, even though they're both great movies, they're setups for Dune Part 3. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like it. I'm honestly perplexed right now. I don't know what to say. And I'm not gonna act like Season 2 didn't have its moments. It had its moments. Like Allison's character development, Cole's character development, Aemon's character development, the whole, what was it, episode 4 was amazing. Every time why did Otto leave? Didn't Otto leave around episode 2 or 3? That was a mistake. I feel like the biggest difference between Game of Thrones and House of the Dragons after watching the first 2 seasons is that it always felt like Game of Thrones was like multifaceted. It felt like Game of Thrones had like 10 different arcs happening like in a season. Every episode, it felt like there was at least like 7 different arcs that didn't really have to do with each other, but it was still very interesting and intriguing. I don't know, I've never watched a show like Game of Thrones where it had you invested in so many different things, but at the same time there's a deeper level, and by the end of the series everything connects. Game of Thrones was special, and I feel like maybe it's my expectations that House of the Dragons would be similar to Game of Thrones since it's the same author, but it just felt like it's not compelling enough with the blacks versus the greens, with the painting the greens as the full-on villains. That's some of the worst marketing. The greens are the full-on villains, and you have to root for the blacks. Like, that, to me, it's like, that took away that took away a lot from the show. And honestly, it bleeds into real life. I was on Twitter, like, I think it was yesterday, right? I was on Twitter just scrolling, and I saw like a clip. It was like a reaction channel, and there's that scene with Aegon where he's talking to Ares, I forgot his name, the schemer. And he's like, crippled. He's saying how he's like messed up and etc. And one of the reactors were like, oh, I feel bad for him. And the other reactor literally looked at him, side-eyed him like this, and said, we feel bad for him? Like he's judging him. And I just saw, I'm like, wait, what? Like, what? I remember everyone loved to hate Cersei. Everyone kind of hated Joffrey, but they kind of loved to hate Joffrey. At the start, everyone loved to hate Jaime Lannister, and Jaime Lannister was a sicko. Jaime Lannister literally pushed a kid off of a tower in the first episode. But the key difference is we weren't getting marketing pushed down our throats. Like, oh, Team Green versus Team Black. But in the show, Team Green are the only characters that are ever gonna do anything bad. So we're clearly telling you who to root for. Like, what? That's not fun. That's not, like, you're taking away from the experience of the show. And if I'm being honest, I might be Team Green. Not because I condone what they're doing, because all the compelling characters are from Team Green. They're literally all from Team Green. Daemon was compelling. I don't know, I fell in love with Daemon's character in season 1, and it kind of fell out of love with this character in season 2. But I feel like he'll be back in season 3, and like he'll be back to being Daemon. But that's my point. It just felt like a setup. Put him in the castle and let's just have a bunch of shit happen in the castle. Cause people on Twitter, I saw people on Twitter saying, in the books, they don't show what happens there. So it's like, oh man, I don't know. It's just, Team Black is just so boring. It's like Rhaenyra. I feel like before the time skip, Rhaenyra was such an interesting character. And after the time skip happened, she just became a boring character. Like, they just keep her in the castle, have her, like, avoid any acts of war, have her denounce it, just keep her chilling, and then let's just build that up, and then at the end of season 2, she'll finally be ready for it. It's like, oh, come on. It's like, okay, cool. Maybe you're gonna do that, but give us something else with Rhaenyra where it makes us invested in her character more and again, I don't know. The way this review's going sounds like I hate House of the Dragons. I actually still really like House of the Dragons. I had a lot of issues with this season. I had a lot of high expectations because I literally binged everything, and then a couple days after that, the new season started. So I was on such a high that, I don't know. I felt like unless the war started, I would have been disappointed regardless, honestly. But I talked about the lows. Let's talk about some of the highs. Like I said, I feel like Cole's character is very interesting. Allison's character is very interesting. Aegon. I feel like Aegon at first, he was an idiot, but they're adding layers to him. Aemon, Aemon's interesting. Otto Hightowers literally steals the show every time he's on screen. That's probably why he had to leave. It's like, okay, like, we might have to develop some characters. We'll bring you back next season, but chill out for a bit. I'm trying to think of positives. You know what? A positive for the Blacks, right? I feel like a lot of people that I talk to, they don't really like Jace. I feel like I like Jace. I feel like they're building him up to really start doing stuff in the upcoming seasons, because I saw that they recently posted season 4 will be the last season, so there's confirmed 2 more seasons. So I feel like just Jace pouting, being in the castle, wanting to do stuff, it's like I said, it's just build up for what's gonna happen later on. So I feel like I was interested whenever Jace was on screen. I was interested. Honestly, I'm honestly trying to think of positives for the Black team. I feel like Daemon's conclusion, I really liked it. Cause something was telling me, bro, is this guy really about to challenge Rhaenyra and just, it's a war within a war within a war. But when he finally accepted it, he touched the tree. That was a really nice touch to it. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't like that type of marketing where it's like you paint, cause characters like Alicent and Cole, yeah, they're kind of shitty people when you look at it, but there's layering in their character. Like, Alicent is somebody, in my opinion, based on watching it, she's someone that never really had agency ever since she was a kid. So she just went with what she was taught was right. Like, she just went with that since she was a kid. She doubled down. She got older. She had kids. And she genuinely thought that was Viserys' last wish. And you could tell that because ever since she found out it wasn't his last wish, she's completely changed as a character. But if you talk to like a lot of people watching it, falling for the marketing of season 2, the blacks versus the greens, they just boil it down to, Alicent's just bitter, she's just trash. Cole's just he's just a simp. He's just mad that he got rejected. Like, Cole is literally, I feel like we all know people like that in our life. Cole is literally that person where you're like, bro, he should never, ever touch alcohol or any, like, weed or etc. Like, he should never do that, because if he does, there's no going back. Like, you know those people, the minute they start doing that, they can't stop. It's like a gateway, then they have to do the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, and next thing you know, they're in rehab or a psych ward. Like, that's kind of what Cole is to me. Like, he's somebody that's in the Kingsguard, you know, he's honorable, etc. But the minute he went against his oath, now he can't come back, and he's giving nihilistic quotes like, oh, all men are corrupt, oh, getting smoked by the dragons would be a relief. It's like, that's compelling writing. But if you talk to a lot of people that watch the show, it's just boiled down to, you know, it's just, Cole's trash. It's like, I don't like that. Like, we didn't do that with Jaime Lannister. We didn't do that with Cersei. We didn't do that with Joffrey. We didn't do that, well, Ramsay was kind of crazy, but you get my point. Like, we didn't really do that with the villains back then in Game of Thrones. Like, we watched it, it was compelling, we rooted, like, I don't know, it's just, I really feel like y'all should please drop the Team Black versus Team Green. Like, drop that type of marketing, please. Like, that's my only wish for season 3. I think season 3 is gonna be fire. I think it'll probably be the best season, and I think season 4 will potentially even be better. I'm not gonna lie, I've been yapping. This is the first time I'm kind of making a video like this. I feel like I have so many thoughts on shows, things going on in the real world, media, and etc., that I'm just gonna start making more content like this and just see where it goes. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're new. I'm gonna be posting way more these days. Gonna build up the consistency, and I appreciate y'all. Catch you guys on the next one. I don't know why I did that, but catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Why am I doing peace? Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.